Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's an Uncensored match build-up show. Liverpool, Spartak Moscow, away from home, which promises to be thrilling for all the people who are going over there. We're not one of them, which is bad, but also, you know, safer. We're here anyway. We're going to build up to the game as we normally do. Jim Boardman joins us. Of course, those of you who watch the Final Word show will have thoroughly enjoyed Jim's input on this, and you get more of it right now. And of course, Chris Pajak, who did the spectacular new review show on YouTube.
Aye, it's spectacular because I did it.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Jim, Spartak Moscow. They are, by all accounts, a club that's not necessarily in the healthiest of positions in a very general sense. However, you know, it's a very long way away. Nobody likes getting Russian teams in European competitions. And added to that, I think, given the tinge of disappointment after dropping points to Sevilla in the first game, it is, and it goes without saying, important that we get this group really underway now and start getting some wins.
Yeah, we've got to do. I think Sevilla and us are going to be seen as the top two in the group, but you've not got to let it creep into the situation where there's actually a third and a fourth team involved in that, in terms of how it's going to finish, and that's what you've got to avoid now. You've got to not give Spartak that chance to think that they can be in that mix and make it difficult for yourself. But games in Russia, it's always, I mean, it goes back to, you know, back in the olden days of the old USSR and all that stuff. It's all that
USSR?
SSR, yeah. I can't say what the other S stood for. Oh, it's uncensored, yeah. No, it's just the whole feel of it is it's you've got extra things to contend with, haven't you, on top of the game, which the travel, the different situation. There's always some weird stuff going on with the time of day because it's different time zones and things. And
we saw all the videos of their fans being lunatics in Maribor as well, which is another thing that Liverpool have to deal with. And I'm right in thinking the Manx are over there as well, aren't they?
Yeah, day after.
Yeah. It's a great planning from UEFA again.
I know, sensational work from UEFA.
They excel this
from the people who are set to bring you the European Championships that takes place in 14 different countries over the space of a month.
Good one. I think the one thing that is probably better for us now is it's a fairly new stadium, isn't it? It's a 45,000 seater stadium, all new facilities and stuff. There'll be flares and all that type of stuff going on, but I don't think it's as, you know, what we remember from 20 years ago when teams go to Russia and stuff like that. So that's one thing we've got going for us. There is a large Liverpool contingent of fans over in Russia as well, so it's a well-liked side, thankfully. Hopefully there won't be any problems surrounding the game and obviously during the game and stuff. And we've got to focus on the fact that they've got some good players. Quincy Promes, I know, missed the game. They drew 2-2 with Andy Makalaka, who were bottom of their league, and they drew 2-2 with at the weekend. So we've got to hope that, you know, they don't come out and think of this as like a release from everything that's going on, because that's the danger, isn't it? You can be in bad form, but you've seen teams perform in the Champions League when they've been in bad form because there's not that pressure that comes with the league and stuff like that. So
also, they'll see it as a big game in the sense that, you know, it is Liverpool. Wherever, although we're biased, Liverpool is a big name to be bringing to your ground. It's a big scalp to try and get, isn't it?
This was my major concern with the group when I saw it come out, is that I can't stand groups that on paper look really good for Liverpool, because I think we always look at every time we've had a Europa League group, we never dominate Europa League groups. We always seem to have a harder time against teams that you're supposed to beat because of that exact reason, is that Liverpool are such a massive scalp, and you got these guys, and I'm not, you know, players like Quincy Promes are going to go and have an amazing career, I think, at the top level of the game, but, you know, there will inevitably be players who will, you know, this is a game they'll be telling the grandkids about when they played Liverpool in the Champions League, and people raise the games. In some regards, I would almost prefer us to have a Dortmund or a whomever, you know,
where we can raise our game.
Exactly, you know, where exactly, because you don't. There's less fear of complacency in those games. Whereas I think that's the thing we've got, is it was a tough couple of games against Leicester. We've expended a lot of energy, then going on a long flight, and it's up to the management, it's up to the quality of players. If they're not good enough to raise themselves for this game, then they're not good enough to get us out of the group. They don't deserve to play for the club going forward. But it is a thing, isn't it? Because it's stupid of us to go into this going, oh yeah, well, whatever, who the fuck is Spartak Moscow? We're just going to go there and dick them. There's no evidence to suggest that over the last 20 years that Liverpool will not give us a couple of sticky moments over the next 90 minutes, 180.
Yeah, and listen, you know, we've got to go in there and be professional and go and beat the side that's put out. But they are struggling. You know, I'm led to believe that their right back and left back are really quite poor and very, very slow. In fact, the left back, what's his name here, Dmitry Kobarov, is criminally slow. And that is what's been written about him and stuff. So when you're talking about the right back and left back are susceptible to pace, have we got anyone on our wings that maybe has a little bit of pace? That's the area of the pitch that we're going to want to focus on. But let's not forget Carrera, where for many years with Antonio Conte at Juventus. He obviously goes in there. I think they've had some top managers over in Spartak that haven't won the league. He wins the league with them after a 16 years of not winning the league. So he's clearly a good manager. He's got a good pedigree. He'll be able to set his side up. The thing is, they had their 3 top players missing for the game at the weekend. Will those all be coming back in? Quincy Promes has only missed 4 games in 4 years. So the likelihood is, although he missed the weekend game, he'll probably be back in. Their captain, Dennis, begins with a G, forget his name, will probably be coming back in as well.
You've been doing so well.
Z Luis, their 6'4" striker, who's an incredible header of the ball, he'll probably be coming back in. But the problem they've got is much like Liverpool sides of the last few years, is that once you get rid of their 3 top players, there's not enough in their squad, and that's why they've been struggling so far.
And we don't know,
this
that's
season.
it with the results. Well, you don't know how many of them games have been down to, like we've said, where there's like a bad referee decision here and your head's going, you know, have they had a few games where they've gone, if only kind of thing, and they're not that far away from winning, and it just it has a roller coaster effect, doesn't it?
Let's hope that the fact that Z Luis is only 184 kilograms and is a Sagittarius might have an impact on it.
Hey, you looked at that website as well.
Yeah, I think moving on to Liverpool then, because let's get back to it, because who gives a fuck ultimately about the opposition.
But I've done loads of research.
Done really well, fantastic. Sadio Mane back available. You know, I mean, his band was never covering Europe anyway, but you know, great to have him back and available. Does this provide the first real selection headache that Klopp's had this season? Because I mean,
it did for me.
Yeah,
you know, I've thought about me starting 11 and stuff like that, and I really thought, like, you know, what are you looking at? You know, we've had Phil Coutinho come back into some great form. He's looked a little bit rusty. Is this the game where you pull him out, or is it time to rest Mo Salah, who's pretty much played all of the important games for us, who's worked his arse off for a few days and stuff like that? I mean, Sadio Mane's got to start this game of football. Then is it Sturridge? Is it Firmino? How are we going to play there? Firmino withdrawn after 60 minutes. Does that make you think he's going to start on Tuesday? Yeah. Or have you put some minutes in Sturridge's legs so that he can play in the game in midweek?
I don't think you put minutes in Sturridge's legs. I think it's the opposite.
You just don't want it.
No, I mean, like, if you put Daniel Sturridge on a football pitch, it doesn't prime him for the next game. It just makes him less capable of playing the next game. We had a brief chat about this in the office area, didn't we, Jim, and how we're starting to edge toward the real conundrum that Klopp's going to have on his hands, and is Phil Coutinho, is the plan to have him as a midfielder? Because if the plan to have him as a midfielder, we've now finally got the option, because we've got Mane, Salah and Firmino available with him alongside for the first time. And then you start to consider Adam Lallana, and this is the problems that Jurgen Klopp's going to have. All wonderful problems to have, by the way. Yeah. But then you start to worry about, we've already binned James Milner out of the team. Then you're looking at one place for Henderson, Chan and Wijnaldum, if you're going to start getting all these guys.
Where does Oxlade-Chamberlain fit in as
well?
Where does
Oxlade-Chamberlain, this is it.
I think we're playing 2 games a week most of the season. If we do well as well, you know, if we carry on in Europe next year and we don't completely bomb out of Europe, it'll be 2 games a week after Christmas as well. And maybe that's what it is. It will be that you can pick and choose. So when we're saying, do we take Firmino off after 60 minutes because we'll need to save him for the next game, maybe we won't need to take some of our players off early, because it doesn't matter. We've got someone else pretty much as good who can do pretty much the same role, ready to slot in, and that's where I hope is going to happen. But I think every player knows they've got competition now. Every player knows they've got to play to the best, and it's a cliche, but these are the kind of problems any manager would like to have, aren't they? Yeah. Especially it's that front 6 basically. So many options, so many good options. Yeah,
completely. I'm dead excited for it, because there's a very realistic chance that we could start this game with one of Mane, Salah or Coutinho on the bench. And I already thought our bench against Leicester looked pretty good anyway, and now we're starting to just add real quality in the game. You know,
I think having it on the bench is so important when you know the game's not going your way and a player's maybe he's taken a knock early, or he's had a yellow card, he's just not quite on his game, that you've got someone on there that can either do that role better because he's ready for it, or you can change it around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go on to what we would like to see our 11s be in the game before, and just want to remind everyone that we are nominated for a North West Football Award in the Fan TV category, which is brand new for this year, so we want to be the first ever winners, the inaugural winners, as it were. We're up against Full-Time Devils, which are boo. Obviously Man United. Toffee TV are good mates, but Evertonians, boo. And Blue Moon Rising,
no need to boo them, they don't exist
I
anymore.
don't even think they're a channel. But either way, we can't, if we it would make it doubly embarrassing if we lost to them. So yeah, you can vote. The link will be in the video info underneath, and obviously check it out on Twitter. If you vote, you can also vote for Sadio Mane to win Football of the Year as well, and Trent to win Young Football of the Year, and obviously there's Liverpool ladies up for the respective awards as well. We want a Liverpool FC clean sweep, and we'd love to be involved with that. So yeah, go and vote using the link. It's literally dead easy. It's just a little drop down, click, vote, and it's done. You don't need to register or anything. So yeah, it takes 30 seconds of your time to have the Northwest be Liverpool dominated once again. Yeah, and if you want to get a bit of love back from us, then tweet us at the Redmen TV, take a little screenshot to say you've completed your voting and what have you, and we'll give you a little shout out. That'll be amazing. So, gents, for the third week now on the run, we're asking people to do what they think would be their 11s, their preferred 11, as it were, for the game. Not necessarily what Jürgen would do, but what you would like to see Jürgen do. And straight off the bat, I've seen that Jim Boardman has done
Portrait.
In portrait, that rebel. Absolute rebel. What's Chris gone for?
Ward in goal, mate.
I've gone for Ward in goal as well. So
right.
Jim's the only one of us who's gone for Karius in goal, which I think is ultimately the right answer. But you've also gone for Rob at left back.
Yeah, Rob.
How's Rob?
Rob Jones.
Rob Jones.
Yeah, that's the problem with these portraits. Rebels.
So I think we've all gone for the three of the back four. We've all got the same as Trent, Matip and Lovren. Me and Jim and I have gone for Robertson left back. Chris has gone for Moreno.
Yeah, I think so. I think, we saw Robertson play a couple of games back to back last week, didn't we? I just kind of want to see as much of a solid back four as possible, to be honest. So it was important for me that Matip and Lovren were kept together. Gomez is an enforced substitution anyway, because he's going to be missing. So Trent to come in. So I'd be quite happy to just see the rest of the back four perform.
If I'd heard you talk about how slow the full-backs were, I might have gone Moreno as well.
I mean, listen, not everyone can watch loads and loads of Russian football, you know what I mean? Or just read the Echo article on the team, but, whatever.
The Robertson thing makes sense in theory because, rotate. He had a great game against Leicester in midweek, I thought. Moreno came in, I thought had a really good game against Leicester in the league. And it makes sense to kind of follow, just play alternate games, but again, it's early doors in this, but Moreno does look like he's the first choice left back. He's going to play the most games at left back, Jim.
I think he's our more attacking, when we're in more of a attacking head kind of a game, I think we play Moreno. And I think when we've got to kind of be a bit more, not cautious as such, because that's never going to happen with Klopp, is it? But when, by Klopp standards, be slightly more cautious at the back and be a bit more solid at the back. I think that's where Robertson comes in myself, because I think he's got more from a defensive side to him. Yeah. Than Moreno has.
Yeah,
I try not to think about Moreno's defending.
Well, no, it's true. The only thing I think the detriment to Robertson maybe, and again, I've got him in there because I'd like to see him tested, is lack of European experience. Yeah. And that's one thing Moreno does have. He's probably got more European experience than our entire squad, pretty much, which is weird. But yeah, moving forward to the midfield then. So I've gone for repetition there. I've gone for Hendo, Gini Chan. You guys have both. So you've got Jim's gone for Emre Can to maintain his place, Wijnaldum to drop out for Coutinho, and you've done the opposite, Chris.
Yeah, to be honest, the important part of my my midfield three was getting Coutinho in there, and whether it was Can or Wijnaldum was just I like writing Wijnaldum, to be honest. I really want to see Coutinho play behind Salah and Mane, and that was the important thing from my starting 11. And moving further forwards, I had Sturridge up top rather than Firmino, because it was actually something you said on, I think it was the final word, about him playing with the first team regulars. I want to see Sturridge and what he can do with Mane and Salah and Coutinho behind him. Yeah. So it wasn't in me thinking I would have just naturally just gone Firmino in there, but you'd said that and I was like, that's something I really want to see. I want to see those three playing behind Sturridge and see how we perform. So this would be a game to do that.
It's one of those things. This is what we do. This is not necessarily how we think Klopp's going to line up. Because again, the Ward stuff and the Sturridge stuff is probably not going to happen. Like, but I think given the performance Sturridge put in the last half an hour of the game against Leicester, I think there's a case to be made that Sturridge played better in the half an hour that he had than Firmino did in the 64 minutes that he had. I don't think Firmino had a bad game per se, but it was very tangible, the impact that Daniel Sturridge had.
I don't think any of us would be upset if any of us were with anyone else's lineup, though, are we? When you listen to it, it's kind of toss of a coin over your who else joins the midfield. Yeah. If you are having Coutinho in, do you have chance? Do you have Wijnaldum? I wouldn't be too worried either way. If I saw Klopp had changed that, I wouldn't be that bothered. They're all good quality options.
Did you have Coutinho in the side at all?
No, Coutinho was on the bench for me, and I think this is the thing of we are rehabilitating him, so to speak, aren't we? We're easing him back in. I see no problem with that, and it was mainly just because it's away. I just think that midfield that we've got there, I couldn't decide between Chan or Wijnaldum to drop out, because I think Chan's been borderline superhuman in the Champions League games so far. I think he's stepped up his game, but equally I just think he likes Wijnaldum in the midfield too much. That I don't, until I see us start to do it a bit more regularly, I'm not sure when we will do that, when we will go with that option. And maybe it's one of those that if they come and, I see that more as when we're at home and we're playing against a team that's going to defend for their lives, we'll play Coutinho in midfield to try and unlock things a bit more, whereas I don't know that this needs to be that kind of game. I think Rafa will look to do a job. Do a similar Leicester-like job against us for Newcastle. So maybe we might need that bit more guile in reserve for the weekend. So yeah, but very, very interesting stuff. And again, we start to get a little insight into the stresses, albeit the good stresses, of Jurgen Klopp in the coming weeks.
I think that's the thing that's going to be the telling one for Klopp, that we see who's fit enough to play, because there's no time is there from an evening Saturday kickoff to jumping on the plane to Russia.
I think the theory is, for me anyway, that you can put two strong sides out. You need to put two strong sides out, but not two perfect sides out. I think this week, I get what you mean. In theory,
so I suppose in essence you're saying like three of Coutinho, Salah, Mane, Firmino can play in both games. It's never the perfect side.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. And maybe one of them gets 60 minutes in the week and is rotated.
Yeah, it should just be slight change. It should be tweaks more than anything major, and then game to game, there's that sort of continuity with the teammates knowing where each other plays and all the rest of it.
Again, it wouldn't surprise me if Coutinho started left and Mane started right, like last season. Yeah. And Salah goes on the bench because he's played a lot of football with Mane being out. I would like to see. That's why I think it probably makes sense to have one of those guys on the bench. But then Oxlade-Chamberlain helps us with that, doesn't he? Because you could not play Chamberlain at all on Tuesday. You could start him against Newcastle, and you've got a pacey attacking option there. But I think we might see a similar kind of situation where we do. This is where our rotation's going to be, to keep that, because we know the forward line's our only real thing. It's definitely not based on solidity at the back, is it? You know what I mean? So we need to make sure that we're capable of maintaining a level. And I'd rather see us as a front line play as an 8 across 2 games than have a 10 and a 6. If that.
I think that's it. When you're swapping players out for roughly the same kind of rating, aren't you? That's what you want. You don't want to be dropping from a 9 to a 6 out of 10 player because you've got to sort of rest him. You want to be dropping from a 9 to an 8 or something if you need to. So.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting stuff. We'll know obviously tomorrow.
3-1.
Jim, what's your score prediction?
So we're not going to have a clean sheet. So 2-1. Not quite as confident.
Yeah, I'll take. I think a 2-1 is reasonable for this one. You're mad to predict the clean sheet.
I've predicted clean sheets the last 2 games.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm mad.
You're mad bastard. I genuinely, I put it in because we didn't do score predictions the weekend game, but I put it in the WhatsApp. I was certain we were going to win 4-1 at the weekend, and when it got to 3-1, I was like, yeah, this is it.
But you weren't watching the game.
No.
I didn't feel like it was going to be 6-1.
So yeah, But yeah, let us know your score predictions. Let us know your preferred 11s below. If you want to know the start 11 prediction, which is exactly what the team's going to be, then check out Chris's start 11 prediction show, of course. If you want more in-depth, long-form analysis of Liverpool Football Club, 3+ shows every single week on the redmentv.com. We do the Final Word show, which is 60 minutes. We do the Reds News Roundup, which is 60 minutes. We do a comments below show periodically as well, which is us responding to the things that you're leaving in the comments, the issues that you want to discuss around Liverpool.
We've got the stat show coming up next week, the monthly stat show,
back as well. So yeah, loads of stuff. Perfect time to join up. Yeah, go to redmentv.com. There'll be a little button you can click at the end of this video.
Perfect time to join up, isn't it?
Yeah, but no more perfect than now.
Is the right time.
Perfect jumping on point. For comic book fans will get that. But yeah, great. Thanks, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully the game is an absolute pleasure. It's just what they do every now and again. They reboot to do, this is the perfect jump, because you're bogged down with 30 years of continuity with each time. Go, this is the perfect jumping on point. Oh, right, well, I'm going to run the... No, but now, this is the perfect jumping on point. Click buttons that'll be on the screen now to subscribe, to go over to redmentv.com to watch more Redmen TV content. Thanks very much, Jim. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, Chris.
Cheers, man. Thank you,
and
Paul.
Thank
you, Paul.
Does Paul ever get thanked?
Fishing for fucking thanks.
And we'll see you all very, very soon.